forward. We're going to continue worshiping here together. Let's go on ahead and let's move a little bit to the right side as well. Make room. This morning. God, we love you so much, and we're so thankful to you for fresh starts, Lord. We thank you that this is a fresh start in so many different capacities.
So we're gonna jump right in. We have a lot of stuff to do this morning, but I want to talk about something. And we are in our church right now. We're going to spend the next 4 weeks. Maybe the first time in our church's history where everybody is looking at the same things, from worship upstairs to all the adult Sunday school classes. I don't know if you know this, but it takes a miracle and an act of God for all adult Sunday school classes in any church to look at the same thing. But not only that, so we're talking about this in worship, adult Sunday school classes, children's Sunday school, and we're going to be talking about it in youth ministry the next 4 or 5 weeks of the things that we really want our church to be about. And so it's really important, I think, if this is what our church is going to be about, and this is what our new senior pastor has said he wants our church to be about, that all of us look at it and work on it together. So this morning we're going to be starting with that. Now, for me, personally, there is nothing quite like quite as bad as being nobody wants me to be there. Has anybody else ever experienced anything like that? You are there, and you can tell there's a vibe in the room that the other people who are there, they just don't want you to be there. And I'm really bad because I pick up on that, and rather than walk away, I will just do things to continue to make it really awkward. And so, because I just don't know when to stop talking, I don't know when to walk away, and so I will just do some random things. And so here's an example. 2 weeks ago, Neil, who's our new 7th and 8th grade person. Neil is from Northern Ireland. If you haven't met Neil yet, he's awesome. He's got bright red hair and he speaks with an Irish accent. And so anything he says is automatically cooler than anything anybody else says. So if you've heard him talk, it's just like, wow, I will just listen to you because you are cool. I'm not sure what you're saying all the time, but yeah, awesome guy. Anyway, he and I went over to Brugger's because I was just trying to show him some of the institutions of Brentwood. So we drove around the Brentwood block, and I showed him where Brugger's was, and we walked in, and I introduced him to Tam at Brugger's. Who knows Tam? Tam is awesome. She's the cashier at Brugger's, and I love her. She's great. Anyway, so we walked in, and in the back of Brugger's, there's if you've been in there, there's a big table that's got 6 chairs, and there's another table that's got 4, and there was a large group of high school girls, I think, maybe from, it doesn't matter what high school. They had pushed the tables together, they pulled in chairs, just a huge gathering of high school girls. And so I walked into Brugger's and Neil walked in, and I looked back and I saw one of our people who I know well, who was sitting there, and she gave me a wave. Now, what the wave actually meant was, hi, I acknowledge you, we are both in Brugger's. Please go ahead and order your food. And leave us alone. What I thought the wave meant was, hey, Travis, how are you? It's good to see you. Why don't you come over and talk to this whole table full of girls? And that's what I thought it meant. So I walked over. And I was like, hey, how you doing? And it's like this. I mean, so the whole back is, the whole back of the table, they're just staring like it's the head cocked to the side. And then the people who were facing me, I got some of this, And so me, not picking up on, okay, this is the point where you should walk away because it's awkward, okay? No, I'm like, what should I do? I should give everybody a high five. That would really make this much better, and it would be awesome. So I was like, hey, yeah, how you doing? And so one person was like, yeah, and then there was one other person who's like, and then everybody else still just staring at me, really, really awkwardly, and I was like, okay, we'll see you later, and Neil was like, what in the world was that? That was a horrible Irish accent, but at least that's what I think he said. But it was so awkward, and for me, there's not many things worse than being in a situation like that, and we're talking this morning about hospitality. I've got a slide on here that it gives a simple definition of hospitality. Hospitality is simply inviting, welcoming, receiving, and caring for people. Hospitality is kind of the opposite of what I received at that table on that morning. And in a church, it's so important that we go out of our way to welcome people. Because the truth of God is, even though we're awkward, and even though we're goofy, and even though we mess up, and even though we fail, and even though we're who we are, God goes out of his way to welcome us and to invite us and to care for us. And so because of that, we need to go out of our way to do the same things for other people. Now, we struggle with this in a church context because a lot of times, it's easy to invite somebody to go do something like, hey, let's go to the movies. That's an easy invite. Hey, let's go grab something to eat. Hey, let's go get some coffee. That's easy. It's just simple. We don't have to think too much about that. But for some reason, when it comes to inviting people at church, we freak out about that sometimes, I think, because we have this misconception of what that's supposed to be like and what that's supposed to look like. And there's a church word that's evangelism. And evangelism basically just means, it's like sharing your faith story. It's just telling people about who you think God is and what your relationship is like with God and inviting them to join you in that. But we have these misconceptions about what evangelism is. I want to play a video. These are some of the things that I think we have to do in order to be welcoming and to show hospitality in a church. I love that. I love that at the end. I mean, I love the whole video because it was funny. But at the end, it goes through all these things that shows you that you don't have to be like that to invite somebody to come to church. And the end that's a true story. Those guys are called the skit guys. They go around and they do like drama and stuff like that. But they really are best friends. They've been best friends forever. And that's their true story, that one of them just invited the other one to come to church with him one day. Just a simple invitation because he thought that he needed something more than he was living in his life. And so I want to invite you, think right now. Think about who are people that you know. Think of one person. Think of one person that you know who doesn't have a church family. They don't have a home. Like they don't have a church home. They don't have people. They don't necessarily know that people love them. They've not ever experienced something like this, or they're just not plugged into something like this right now. I want you to think about one person that you know, because I know everybody knows one person. And all I want to do is challenge you to invite them to come to something here in the next 2 weeks. Just an easy invitation. Like, you don't have to be cheesy with it. All you have to do is say, hey, we're having a kickoff next Sunday night. There's going to be a concert. There's going to be some food. Why don't you come with me? Or you can say, hey, we've got small groups kicking off in 2 weeks on the night of the 28th. I love my small group. If you're in a small group, I love my small group. It's a cool place where we hang out and we talk about real life stuff. Invite them to be here. Or if you know they're musical, like, hey, we've got 2 of the best youth choirs in the country here at this church. Like, bring somebody to come to choir with you if that's your thing. But I want to challenge you over the next 2 weeks to invite somebody to come to something. Because the truth is there are a whole lot of people who need to hear about the good news of the love of Jesus. And this is the only place in the world, not Brentwood United Methodist, but the church is the only place in the world that can share that good news. Like, it doesn't get shared other places. Other places are fun. They're fun to go to. They're fun to hang out at. But what's unique about the church, it's the only place where we can talk openly and freely about the love of Jesus and encourage other people to experience that. I want to look at a passage of Scripture. This is Romans 10, 13 through 15. It's up on the screen. It says, as the Scripture says, anyone who calls on the Lord will be saved. But before people can ask the Lord for help, they must believe in Him. And before they can believe in Him, they must hear about Him. And for them to hear about the Lord, someone must tell them. And before someone can go and tell them, that person must be sent. It is written, how beautiful is the person who comes to bring good news. So it's like going through this progression, this logical progression. Everybody needs to hear about the love of Jesus. I believe that with all my heart. There's not a single person in the world who wouldn't benefit from hearing about and experiencing the love of Jesus. But can you keep that up? Keep that up there, if you don't mind. But for anybody to hear about that, somebody's got to tell them. And for somebody to tell them, they've got to be sent. And so I want all of you this morning to consider yourselves sent. Like, I want all of us to think that we are sent. We are sent this morning to go tell somebody, one person, about the love of Jesus. And that can be as simple as just inviting them to come to church and praying for them. But I think if every one of us did that, we'd see some incredible things happen in our community. And so, like I said, there's lots of things to invite people to over the next couple weeks. There's kickoff next week. There's small groups starting in a couple weeks. There's youth choirs kicking off. Something, anything. And then Chris Provost, who's one of our awesome small group leaders and adults, he's in the back. Hello, Chris. Chris sent me this fantastic quote from Mother Teresa yesterday, and I wanted to read that. It said, don't worry about numbers. Help one person at a time. And always start with the person closest to you. Don't worry about numbers. Help one person at a time. And always start with the person closest to you. I want to invite Alyssa Stockard. Alyssa's going to come up. And Alyssa is somebody who's just joined our youth ministry really in the past 6-ish months.
Yeah.
And so she's going to talk for a second just about what her experience has been like in being welcomed here.
Windy. Okay. All right. My name is Alyssa Stockard, as he said, and okay, that's not going to work. Okay. So, like you said, I've been going to Brentwood for about 6 months, and I'm here to talk about radical hospitality and kind of how it came to me through Brentwood. Before I went to Brentwood, I went to a small church of about that group of people. It was about 150, and everyone knew me, but like any church, it was going through a time of change, and that change just wasn't good. It wasn't good for my faith. It wasn't good for my family. But my family wasn't ready to move, so I had to decide freshman year. Okay, do I choose my faith, or do I choose going out on a limb and trying to find another church? And I chose that. There was about a year where I didn't have a home church. I didn't have anyone that I thought accepted me. It was a really depressing time in my life. Finally, after hope, no hope, and lots of ups and downs, God sent me people like Stephanie and Taylor Youngner, and just pretty much anyone from my small group to tell me that there is a church out there where you don't just sit in the back and want to cry yourself to sleep because, you're not accepted. And that was Brentwood for me. The first day I came, the coolest thing was walking in and a greeter greeted me, and it wasn't awkward. Because sometimes there's greeters and they greet you and they're like, hi, my name's this, okay, now go, get out of the way. But the first greeter that greeted me, I don't even remember his name, I don't even know his name, but I always smile at him now because he gave me a hug, and that was just like really weird. I felt really welcomed and everything. And then I came down here to Sunday school, and Anna Fields just said, hey, I don't know you, come sit by me. And that was just great because I wasn't ready to get out of my comfort zone. I had put myself out there before, and I'd been shot down. And that's what radical hospitality is. Radical hospitality is about putting yourself out there because someone else that's a visitor is not ready to do that. And as members of this church, and it is your job to do that. It's hard and it's scary. But the best thing to remember is don't have walls, don't have worries, and there's no sweat to it. I promise you I love everyone that made themselves feel a little bit awkward for introducing themselves, and I don't think they're weird, so please do so. Another example of radical hospitality, first word, radical. On choir tour, I got a little excited and did the jerk, which caused me to get this. And it was radical, hospitality. I had about 5,000 people surrounding me, picking me up, carrying me, getting me water, carrying me up a bus. There were so many things that I hate people taking care of me, but when people did, I felt loved. And I've never felt that before, especially by peers and kids. Now, if you're new here, the best advice I can give you is don't hold back. Even if you're introvert, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're introvert or extrovert. The best thing you can do is plug yourself in. Whether that be on choir tour, even if you sing or not, whether that be coming down here, talking to someone, whatever you do, the best thing you can do is just love. Because the song that we sang earlier, if God is for us, then who could ever stop us? That song always makes me think about when I first came here. If God is for us, then who could ever stop us? Don't feel like being weird is going to make you a bad person. It's just going to make you a Christian. Anyways, just focus on radical hospitality in your life and not laughing at me for making no sense. But basically, just anybody that comes in that's new, go up and say hi. It's not that weird. And that's all I got to say.
I think she put that in way better words than we could have of what it means to just put yourself out there and just try it. We are a big church, and there are a lot of people in this room, and there's a whole lot of 7th and 8th graders in the junior high room right now as well. So this is something for all of us to know, to welcome each other, to welcome new people, to really be engaged in radical hospitality, and to know what it means to invite people in. So it can be scary walking into a room, and I'm sure some of y'all were even scared this morning, even if you know people, it's kind of that unknown. So we invite you to listen to Alyssa's words and Travis's words about what it means to invite others and be radical with hospitality. And there are so many things around this church that you can do, as Travis mentioned, ways you can invite people. And so we're going to share a little bit about that this morning. First thing, though, we're going to pass out attendance clipboards. And I know you already signed a bunch of stuff and signed your name a lot of places, but that helps us when we keep track of attendance. So please still fill that out, even though we already made you fill out a bunch of stuff. Oh, I didn't even hear gripes. I really thought I was. Thanks, y'all. Oh, gosh, you made me fill out more stuff, man. Anyway, and then after that, joy buckets will be coming around. And if you are new or you haven't been here before, we pass these around on Sundays, Sunday mornings and Sunday evenings coming shortly. And these are for collecting different things, and this is a new one starting today. And so in our joy buckets today, shout out a little joy. It is going to our 3 different weekly service opportunities, which you hear more about in just a minute. So just keep your ears open for Harvest Hands, Odyssey, and 61st. Any money donate will go towards those in our efforts when we go and serve in our community in the Nashville area, and it'll just help with getting that year started off with those things. Okay, so one really, really, really big thing that's coming up that you can invite friends to is Kickoff! and lots of other ministry teams. But Kickoff is why you got this orange wristband. And this orange wristband is what you show at Kickoff. So you need to leave this on your wrist from now until next Sunday afternoon. If you show up at Kickoff with this not on your wrist, our adult volunteers are going to make you do that whole table check-in again. This shows us that you've already checked in, filled out all the cards, and this tells us that we have your information. It also helps advertise while you're at school, and it can be a talking point to invite your friends if they ask you, hey, what's that orange wristband? You can be like, hey, you should come to my church. It's really fun. All right, so that's next Sunday. If you're in the 10th through 12th grade, you've got Sunshine at 4 o'clock. At 7 o'clock, down here in the Tabernacle, when church-wide kickoff is wrapping up outside, we have a special concert down here. Anybody know who's performing this year? Anybody see it on Facebook? I just heard somebody say it. Jamie Grace. We're really excited about that. This is one of the songs Kendall sang and many of y'all sang on choir tour. Is one of her songs? Nope? Okay. It's You Hold Me, I think is what it's called. But so we're really excited. Invite your friends to that. Our adults are also passing around some yellow buckets. If you guys can listen up. Inside those yellow buckets are little invite cards at Kickoff, so you can invite your friends. At Kickoff, you get your t-shirt, and we encourage you all this week to wear your fall Kickoff t-shirts to school. And then also after Sunday school today, it'll be up on the screen. We're inviting you to paint your cars. Who are some of the youth that are helping with that? Anybody in here? See Ann Porter afterwards if you want to do that. And we've got car paint so that you can invite your friends and your car can look just like that. Really awesome. That's just a little Photoshop editing. All right. Okay, so we are also passing out something else. Our adults are running around. They've got lots of things to do this morning. They're awesome. We're passing out a map. And I need you guys to listen up on this, as I'm going to just fly through this information because we've got something else we want you guys to participate in this morning. So I'm just going to talk through this really, really quick, and you'll get a sheet of paper. On one side, it lists all of our ministry teams and lots of the things you can sign up for and get involved in. On the back side is a map. In about 2 or 3 minutes, we're going to get up and walk around the youth area and go, and you have the opportunity to sign up. You're not committing, you're not signing your life away or anything. It's just saying, hey, I'm interested in being on the prayer team. That sounds cool. I'd like some more information. So you can go around to all of these teams to just ask questions. They'll tell you about what they do, when they meet. The ministry team leaders for these teams will be there. And then you can sign up if you're interested. A few things. Harvest Hands is switching nights. If you participated in that previously, it is moving to Monday nights. And Odyssey game night, which Brian leads, used to be on Monday nights. It's switching to those are switching. Harvest Hands and Odyssey are switching nights, Monday and Tuesday nights. It's on the sheet. If you're in youth choirs, James Wells will be in the junior high room. If you're new, please stop by the green room. That's this room right here where the door is, so easy access for you guys, so that you can get more information. If you already participate in the Sunshine or Jubilation Choir, you don't necessarily have to stop by there unless you have any questions for James. I'm running out of time. Okay, I just want to tell you guys something at the very, very bottom. There's 2 things that don't have a number by it. Is everybody listening? Can I get everybody's head looking up? All right, those 2 things at the bottom are, it says Highway 56 team. Any one of you can serve on that team, or a middle school team. Only juniors and seniors can serve. In the next couple of weeks on Sunday mornings, we're going to explain this more, but we're really excited about it. For you high schoolers, for any of you who are interested in mentoring and getting to know some of the younger kids and leading discussions and kind of small groups and activities with them, you can sign up to be on one of these teams on Sunday morning at 9:45. We don't have a table for sign up today, but we're going to explain it in more detail in coming weeks. But if you're like, hey, I'd love to get to know some younger kids, help them, teach them, hang out with them on Sunday mornings, like twice a month, and then be in here for the other 2 Sundays a month on Sunday mornings, we'll be explaining that in future weeks, but we're really excited about that. All right, I'm out of time, but you see all of these descriptions are on the sheet. These are ways for us to continue to be in radical hospitality and be a part of these teams to welcome other people in. How this works is I'm going to dismiss you in just a minute, and you have your map on the backside, and you can go around to all these teams. We won't actually come back in here, so you'll have 15 or 20 minutes to go around to the teams, ask questions, find out, and sign up for all the different things you're interested in. One side note, you will want to stop by the special events table. You'll see that on your map. It's at the piano table where 12th grade check-in was in the cafe. You will get something free there that you're going to want. So stop by the special events table. And on our way out, we're going to play a little bit of Jamie Grace while you're headed out to the ministry teams. 7th and 8th graders will be doing this as well. Please don't trample them. Be nice to them. They might be a little scared with you big high schoolers walking around. And here's some Jamie Grace.